Blog Talk Radio.
Yeah. Woo. Let's go. Y'all need to sit back, listen, enjoy the vibe. Sip something, light it up, enjoy the ride. Cause the Sports City Chefs is on tonight. In the kitchen cooking up, they on the rise. Sports City Chefs, Chefs. Sports City Chefs, Chefs. Sports City Chefs, Chefs. Sports City Chefs. Yes, Lord, we got a brand new president. Joe Biden, we riding, I pray you heaven sent. Word from the wise, my people stay ahead of. Come on, I've been relevant, trying to survive the elements. It ain't no love in these streets, these dudes telling it. Case go from cold to hot, states evidence. Kaboom, Sports City Chefs is in the room. Cooking up hot topics to put up on your spoon. They well in tune, bloom like a flower in June. Superman vs. MF Doom, the clouds loom. So tell a friend it's the Sports City Chefs again. Pay attention, tune in, we on the set again. Sports City Chefs, Chefs. Sports City Chefs, Chefs. Yeah. Cabby, Taj. Woo!
Connecticut.
Took on my blazer, loosened up the tie, stepped aside, the kitchen. Tymeless is alive. The call-in number is 929-477-2759. Y'all could have been anywhere else in the world, but y'all are here with the chefs. New exclusive stuff from the boys from Stanford. That's right. Shout out to my big brothers Taj and Caviar. Even though I can put out the governments, but I won't because I know y'all since I was a little something, but got to get into the show. I'm feeling some type of way. I know people, I usually give y'all 45 seconds, but I had to get the raw. That's exclusive, fresh off the grill, so I'm ready. I'm at the edge of my seat. I couldn't wait to start the show up with that. Calling in by way of the Connecticut region, I got my co-host with me, MF Doom, the evil face, a.k.a. the villain. Welcome to the Cookout. How are you feeling this evening?
Villain, I'm feeling good. Now back in the hood, certain cats, they want to kill me, ice grill me, but on the low, people feel me. You got to love it. Yeah, man. Caviar, shout out to Caviar and Ties on that hot track. Sports City Chefs. We got our official theme music in the building. We doing big things. How you doing, baby?
I'm doing real good. Like I said, edge of my seat. Glad that we got some theme music right now. Getting shout outs and everything. And the best part about it is I didn't have to worry about somebody that didn't know me. Both of them know me since the 80s, baby. So this is real exclusive. It's all family stuff. And calling in by way of the state of Colorado, we have Big Easy, a.k.a. Eric G. Welcome to the Cookout. How are you feeling this evening?
What's going on, gentlemen? Love the intro. We're official now. Loving it. So excited to be here in the kitchen with my brothers with all these great topics we got tonight. Ready for another great show, gentlemen.
Okay. Sports City, I'm going to try to do the best that I can because I'm trying to save a topic for one person that's not here that just feel like they're just going to run in here and do what they want. But I'm going to be fair because I know that this is going to be a hot topic. I don't want to, too much of the story to be missed. So I'm going to do meat and potatoes or not even meat and potatoes, but appetizers. Excuse me. Let me get this right because that's the meat and potatoes I'm trying to say. It has been announced today that Jason Garrett will be ending his career with a one-day contract with the Cowboys. So I'm going to get my rant off before I throw this around the kitchen because I usually throw it out to you guys and then try to go last. Say that again about Jason Witten. I'm sorry.
You said Garrett, Jason Witten.
I said Garrett, Jason Witten. I apologize. Flipping, I apologize. Jason Witten, the tight end. Oh, okay. Players mess up too. But I just want to get this off as best as I can. And okay, we'll let him get that all off. Because I can act silly, Sports City. Don't let me start tripping him up with the wire. But anyway, so. Witten is signing a one-day contract with the Cowboys to retire as a Cowboy. I'm going to go first because usually I let this get around the kitchen first, and then I'll go last to kind of put the icing on it, if you will. I feel bad at saying this. He should have never came back to the game. he came back, went to the Raiders, and I think he was looking for a ring. I don't think that the championship was going to fall in Las Vegas, let alone he wasn't even an impactful player for the Raiders. So it's like I could already feel this retirement coming as soon as the season was over. So now it's like, what was the intention? And now is it like, do you go back into the booth like they're holding that position open for Monday Night Football and things like that? So I'm a little questioning what Jason Witten's intent was, but I understand the timing of the retirement at this point in time to give it a one-time run, if you will. Barry, your thoughts on the retirement of Jason Witten after coming back out of retirement for one season with the Raiders?
Yeah, he probably shouldn't have come back, but I don't think that's going to change anything. I hated seeing that guy running up and down the middle of the field against my Giants, with the Cowboys. I think, when it's going to be said and done, looks like it is going to be around March. He's going to be one of the best tight ends to play the game. I don't know if he's the greatest. There's a lot of good ones out there. Tony Gonzalez, Kellen Winslow, et cetera, Sharon Sharp, Antonio Gates. But you definitely put Witten, just the body of work in that conversation with those guys, one of the better tight ends to do it. Not only a good pass-catching tight end, a good blocking tight end, and a good teammate, too, out of the University of Tennessee. So I agree with you. The last couple of years, he probably shouldn't have come back. Maybe the 1 year with Dallas wasn't too bad, but then to stick around that extra year to go to Las Vegas, probably not in his best interest. But, like I said, he's going to be one of the better tight ends to have played this game. And congratulations on a good career.
See, and you calling them Oakland Raiders. See, I could do all of that rah. Let me get this thing going. The crazy part about Witten making this 1 year comeback and then retirement is like, how does the rest of the league look at it? Like, with the Raiders trying to make a run into this postseason, or they had an interesting run at trying to make it happen, but they fell apart in the month of December. And this is the second year in a row that the Raiders fell apart late in the season, including last year when the same team, same game, same scene of the crime, if you will, but the Raiders actually pulled it out this year. Last year they lost to the Jets, and the Jets were struggling last year. And this year the same situation, but they needed a last-minute heave-ho pass to Ruggs to save the day. And I don't know if they were going to be a team that could, raise sand in the postseason. So it's like you kind of knew what you were getting into. And if I'm looking at this, I don't see the Raiders as being a better team than the Cowboys, even though the record may show it. But it's like you could have made that much of a difference on the team that you spent your entire career with, instead of like questionably trying to chase a ring with the Raiders. I didn't feel the Raiders were AFC Championship caliber, let alone Super Bowl caliber. Eric, your thoughts on Jason Witten's retirement? Again, he's signing a one-day contract with the Dallas Cowboys to retire as a Cowboy.
Yeah, he's one of the most respected players in the league. Class act his whole career, one of the best tight ends ever. Don't know what he was thinking going to the Raiders. That was a head scratcher, you know what I mean? Because just like you just touched on, the Raiders were nowhere near a title contender, you know what I mean? So I don't know what he was trying to do there. Maybe thought some magic could happen between him and Derek Carr, and the thing is, Carr can't stay healthy, so that's one of the big problems the Raiders face. Every time you get late into the season, he's missing ball games. So, Witten only caught 13 passes this year for 69 yards. So it kind of, one of the greats going out like that is kind of sad to see. I would have liked him to finish it off with the Cowboys. Would have been better if he would have done that. And probably could have done a little better, like you said, Ty. But this guy's definitely a Hall of Fame tight end. He has over 13,000 yards total, for his career, over 1,200 catches and 74 touchdowns. So he's right up there with all the top tight ends. So definitely Hall of Fame career. Would have liked to see him finish it out as a Cowboy, not this one-day contract. But nonetheless, he does get to retire a Cowboy. So good luck to Jason Witten and all his future endeavors.
And I agree with you 100%. Eric, you want to know why? The Cowboys lost two of their tight ends this season. They needed help at the tight end position. That's when you could have helped that. You left the organization while these guys, Jarwin and Schultz, these guys were in and out of the lineup, and that was your job. That was literally, they were sitting behind you waiting for it to happen. And you gave the league 1 year in the booth, and they came out like, okay, I'm going to go get a ring in Vegas. Like, I don't know. I guess, your body is best in everybody to, give it a 1 year run between 2020 and 2021 and give it a go. I feel like you had a better shot being with the Cowboys, and they were missing a lot offensively because the offensive line was injured, and they had guys in and out of that tight end depth chart as well. So I do want to give him credit. I do agree with both of you. This guy is a Hall of Famer. I'm not taking anything away from Jason Witten. Guy's a phenomenal tight end and a captain for a long time with the team also, a leader. I don't know if he had that much of an impact with the Raiders, but it's tough to see people get old and end up leaving the game. And I wonder if he's getting back into the booth or going to coach or what, but I think he definitely has a good future in front of him. But I think we were just 2 years removed from his last retirement speech where it got all emotional. I'm wondering if he'll have that same emotion or be content that his career is closed or feeling like he can't give it anymore to any effectively across the board in the league. Okay. And anything else before we get away from that? Because I do want to, give it his due before we do get away from that.
No, from my seat, I think we all said it. Great career. I wish he didn't come back, but congratulations in retirement. And I think he's going to go back to the which network is he going to go to, Ty? Because I don't think he's going to go back. He was
on Monday Night Football, so that was ESPN.
Right, so I don't think he'll go back there, but I'm sure he'll find a job, maybe as a regular broadcast. But great career. Hats off to him.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a situation where he goes into the booth with Tony Romo or something. If they did something creative like that, that would be pretty funny if they could make that happen. Okay, so I'm going to get away from that. Best as I can, and I'm trying to hold up for him, but I really don't care because I'm taking away from the show. So, with that being said, right, we had a game be played, we had two games be played this Sunday, right? And one of which I feel a certain way about. The other is like, I feel like they could have done more. I feel like they left a lot on the sideline instead of within the game. So I'm going to save the best for last. How about that? So the first situation that we have is the Kansas City Chiefs back at the scene of the crime, going back to the Super Bowl in Tampa to defend their crown as the best team in the AFC, in which, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to eat my crow. I was saying that I feel like the Bills were the team that would knock them off or could go shot for shot with them, and I stuck with the bold prediction. It did not go down according to plan. Crazy situation is, it's like what happened to that offense. That offense was, every time Allen said hike, you didn't know whether he was going to scramble or make the right pass. He was throwing the ball good intermediate and deep, and he couldn't make a lot of those plays happen in Kansas City. So I definitely tip my hat to the Chiefs because I did not think that their defense would be that potent to slow this offense down where the Bills were scoring at will, I want to say, into the latter part of November, all throughout December, and getting to the postseason. So I want to see how you guys feel about the Bills falling short, only able to put up 15 points up against the Kansas City Chiefs defense, where I feel like they could have scored more. Eric, I'll start with you first. Your thoughts on the Bills' effort falling flat in the AFC Championship game up against the Chiefs?
Yeah, Ty, like yourself, I thought the Bills would be the team to take out the Kansas City Chiefs as well. The way they were playing, their defense on both sides of the ball was phenomenal. Josh Allen playing lights out, MVP caliber, and fell flat in this game. He was 28 for 48, so, there's a lot of plays right there and a lot of missed passes. And what's really alarming is the rushing side of things. Josh Allen was the leading rusher, 7 times, 88 yards. Devin Singletary only got the rock 6 times and had 17 yards. So, You know what I mean? You got to have a balanced attack in this league, and you got to get your running game, and that opens up your passing game. And only giving Singletary the ball 6 times is, and him only going for 17 is, kind of alarming. So they completely fell flat on their face. It was a huge disappointment. Hats off to the Kansas City Chiefs. On paper, and they're pretty much the best team in the league. Their offense is just too explosive when you got guys like Tyreek Hill that you can't defend him because he's so fast. So, but hats off to them. They're back at it, and they get to face Tom Brady now. But I was hugely disappointed in the Bills. So they just completely on offense fell asleep.
And Barry, I'm gonna throw this to you. Did Zach Moss really mean that much to that running game? Like, what happened? Like, him getting hurt and out of the lineup, I mean, and granted, I do give Josh Allen a great deal of respect the way that he is a good scrambler and knows when to take off and be able to have the advantage up against a spy if they do, or beat the containment of the defensive ends. I give him his credit, but it felt like everything went out the door, and he looked like his old self, prior to this season. I don't want to say anything about him this season because he did play good ball, but he went to Kansas City, and I feel like whether the defensive coordinators exposed him or they just had a great scheme to make Allen press to try to make the things better.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fact that they really didn't have a running game this year kind of was doing a little bit. I think you bring up a great point. I think they're in the market probably. I think Singletary is good. I don't think he balances the offense as much as they need. I think, Jared brings up a good point. It looks like they were asleep at the wheel. I just felt like they just couldn't get going. They couldn't get the momentum going. The first drive, it was okay, but they just couldn't. They couldn't convert third down. They couldn't stay on the field. And once you try to start playing catch-up with Kansas City, it's a wrap. You're not going to play catch-up with them. Kansas City started to kind of get it moving, and once they figured out that defense, it was pretty much a wrap. Josh Allen, I think he's arrived to the party, but I don't think he has a seat at the table yet. I think, this is not like a humbling experience, but I think it's a good game for him to kind of want to, go back to the table and say, what do I need to do more to help this team win? And I'm not laying it on his shoulders. I don't think it was all his fault. I think you look at, like you said, the lack of a running game kind of hurt them a little bit. Give Kansas City credit. They came out with a game plan. They had they kind of digged not out of the game completely, but kind of really had him not be a real big factor. They said, you're not going to beat us. They made other guys kind of beat them, and they didn't have an answer for that. So give them credit. They did what they needed to do, and Kansas City's moving on, and Bills Mafia is headed home. A friend of mine, wanted me to mention that she was disappointed. But I said, hey, we gave the Bills credit. We said they're a good team, but they got some ways to go to catch up with a team like the Chiefs.
Okay, we do have a couple of people here in the building calling in by way of Brooklyn, a.k.a. Connecticut Cat. We have DH in the building. Welcome to the Cookout. How are you feeling this evening?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Doing all right. Hold on, we got one more person, and we have Aaron Simmons here. Aaron, welcome to the Cookout. How are you feeling this evening?
What's up, fellas?
Okay, so Dave, your thoughts on the topic at hand, and then I'll get to serious and get this thing rolling because I have a dish that I cannot wait to start cooking.
So yeah, as I was saying about that game the other day, I was rooting for the Bills. Didn't really know how much power they were going to have coming in there. The thing I was so surprised about in that game, though, was the Chiefs' defense. And like Tyron Matthew all over the field, as he likes to do, it was pretty impressive what they did once again to get themselves back into that. I guess what is it, the third year in a row now they're hosting that game, right? Which is only time that's happened in the AFC, I think they said. And that was pretty impressive to see the Chiefs defense buckle down because, like you guys said, a couple of you guys have said already, the offense could not get in a rhythm. They really couldn't rush the ball, which really was just put too much pressure on Allen to be able to just do everything himself, and they just couldn't really get anything going.
And the crazy part about this defense is, and this is what stunned me, they slowed down Stephon Diggs. How? This dude was terrorizing the league. Like he looked unguardable, and they slowed him down, or they took him out of the game, or pulled one of those Bill Belichick tactics, or we're going to take your strongest weapon and try to beat us some other way. And Diggs is having his way up against a lot of different defenses, and he didn't start getting the ball until late into the game when the damage was done. Sears, your thoughts on the game that happened in Arrowhead with the Bills falling flat in the AFC Championship game?
You know, man, this doesn't come as a shock to me. We sat here on this very network a week ago, just, spitballing. And I believe it was Barry and I who kind of saw this coming, right? At the end of the day, this should not be a slap in the face to the Buffalo Bills at all. This should honestly just be understanding you're not quite there yet. You're not quite there yet. I will say this. The Buffalo Bills, if there's going to be any amount of blame that goes on, you know what I'm saying, there's no shade to losing to the Kansas City Chiefs. Several teams have lost to them, and they're en route to possibly winning their second consecutive Super Bowl. But if there's any shade to be thrown, it's like the offensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills. All right? You cannot, and I emphasize this, you cannot be one-dimensional in this league. You cannot be one-dimensional and beat the Kansas City Chiefs either. You cannot. You have to keep them guessing. You have to keep them all balanced. You have to at least threat a running game. And I understand that was your game plan a week ago in the divisional round versus the Baltimore Ravens, and it seemed to work. That was somewhat of your game plan in the wild card round against the Indianapolis Colts, and it worked. But at the end of the day, you gotta know your opponent. I don't think and this is gonna sound like I'm making a hot take right here, but it almost looks as though Dougie McDermott and that team did no lab work at all. Like, did you watch any type of film? The teams that give the Kansas City Chiefs are balanced. The one loss they had all year, look at that Las Vegas Raiders tape. They were balanced. Josh Jacobs consistently, even though he wasn't ripping off, 10-yard runs and 25-yard runs every time, you have to be consistent with it. And they just fell asleep at the wheel. Now, granted, maybe they didn't like Singletary. Moss was hurt. I think Yeldon, got a couple touches himself. But you have to be able to at least threat a run game. And once you decided to abandon the run game and just put Josh Allen back and pass on the road in a hostile environment versus arguably the best quarterback in today's game, you're setting your team up for failure. So, again, take it as a lesson learned. It came as no shock to me, or I know Villain. Thomas, you was on that stuff, but, I'm going to go ahead and forgive you. But it came as no shock.
As I'm on the stuff, okay, well, I'm going to take it how I want it. I think that offense could have put out a better performance. I feel like that offense fell short, and just like you just said, that running game was not there. But life goes on for Buffalo. They'll have that to learn from with a young quarterback and a decent core if they can keep it together. And, Barry, you came for me with the Jason Witten. He said Doug McDermott. You let him get away with Doug McDermott? I don't know. Okay, so I'll pass. I'm about to set this off. Either way, because everybody trying to come for time as early this morning. But I got that Sachuan. I'm cooking today. I feel some type of way, man. So all right.
If Barry didn't get you with that Jason Garrett, I was gonna get you too.
Oh, look at you! You over there? See, and you over there cheating like it's first grade picture day. This is terrible. This is what I deal with. Okay, so without any further ado, right? I feel some type of way, Sports City, and in the words of Christopher Wallace in 1997, he took a skit from Martin Lawrence, and Martin said, I got to talk. I got to tell him how I feel. I got to talk about this thing as I see it now. Enters the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, people, and they go to Lambeau Field and play the Green Bay Packers. And I want to be fair. I want to say around like 2014, 2015, I'm like, Aaron Rodgers is going to build this storm to try and get his 10th Super Bowl. It's like somewhere this has to give that he can get back to the Super Bowl and try to be amongst the guys that have 2 Super Bowl wins, right? And he's only been to 1, and this is kind of like the bed was made for him to try and win this and take it home. You know what I'm saying? And enters the story of a guy named Brady, and it's like this dude again. And it's almost to the point where, like, when you look at these situations and it looks like a tough situation for Brady, do not bet against the guy. Like, it really is like this. It's really bad like that. Now, mind you, I wonder if it would have got even crazier if Antonio Brown was available to give that offense even more of a lift for the Bucs to take care of business up against the Packers and make this look worse than what the score was because it ended up being a one-possession game. I don't know who I point the finger at more, and I'm going to send this one around the cookout as best as I possibly can. Like, a lot of people are pointing the finger at LaFleur and, you know, the offensive scheme and things of that nature. And then I look at Aaron Rodgers' situation in that third down play before they kicked the field goal where, me being a Lion fan, I see this 2 times a season. If Rodgers don't got nobody open, Rodgers kills you with his feet and can take off and pick up yardage. He could have picked up enough yardage to get to the end zone or at least had them to be fair to the defense, like 4th and 2, 4th and 1. I feel like that's what could have happened. And then LaFleur obviously kicked the field goal, and hopefully the defense could stop Brady from a first down, and they couldn't, and the game was over. So this is the question I'm throwing around the kitchen. I'm like trying to fiddle around it without getting to the meat and potatoes of this thing. How much is left in the tank of Aaron Rodgers to get another ring? That is the question that I'm throwing around, but I want to hear how everybody feels about the game and how things went down. I want you guys to elaborate on it because this to me, if they don't heat this thing up, I'm nowhere near done with this thing on the grill. Eric, I'll set this one up first for you, and because I kind of want you to, like, slice this up because you were one of the guys watching this happen last year in the middle of San Francisco where the Packers let Jimmy Garoppolo attempt 8 passes, not complete 8 passes. They attempted 8 passes and got beat by a run game alone. Now this year they give up the points early. They're not paying attention in the secondary. Scotty Miller beats them deep, and they were picking on King as much as they possibly could. One of the Kings was one of the cornerbacks that they were just like marking on the board, like anybody he's against, have your shot at him. We're going after him, and they made him look bad in this game. But your thoughts on how this is unraveling around Green Bay, and do they, potentially start to watch this unravel around Rodgers? Do they go with Jordan Love? I doubt they go with Jordan Love, but a lot of stuff has happened in the past 365 days with the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I don't know, Ty, and they, Brady even threw 3 interceptions, and usually when you turn the ball over 3+ times in this league, you're not going to have a good day, especially in the playoffs. So, I thought the Packers were going to run away with this one. They should have, but they just completely imploded, like you said. They got picked to death on, their secondary. Tom Brady did his thing. I will mention, Tom Brady seems to always get the calls, man. The refs seem to always be on this guy's side. The huge blown missed pass interference call that led to the Bucs touchdown at the end of the half, that was huge. But, you can't let the refs beat you. You got to play ball to where they can't do these calls that are going to, dictate games when they're close like this. So, it's sad to see the Green Bay Packers fall flat on their face again in back-to-back NFC championship games. And to touch on that game last year, yeah, that was pathetic, man. I mean, they just I don't think we've seen that in a game where, you know, a quarterback only attempts 8 passes and you just get ran, you know, just crammed down your throat with the run, and they couldn't stop it. So I think time is definitely running out for Aaron Rodgers. I don't think he's going to have another better year than this year. He had, you know, all these receivers step up. Scatling, you know, had a great year. His offense was there. They have a great run game. So I think his time is running out in Green Bay, and there's rumblings that, you know, he could be traded. So, and he's not happy there. You know, after the end of the game, he even said that his future in Green Bay is uncertain at the moment. So I think Green Bay had their chance, and they blew it. So, you know, Brady gave it to him by turning the ball over 3 times. So they definitely had a chance, and they blew it. So back-to-back NFC Championship losses for the Green Bay Packers, and the future is definitely uncertain there, especially if Rodgers decides to leave town and tries to go to a team that can accommodate him getting another ring. So that's my feelings on it. Very disappointment in Green Bay, especially for the fans.
Well, I'm about to send it to Dave, but I do want to ask you this quick question. They're saying that the opening is there in San Francisco, and he is a Cali kid, and he is a Niner fan. Would you like Rodgers in that golden red?
What type of question is that?
I said, Eric. Are you Eric or Aaron?
Are you kidding me, man? That would be a Christmas gift. I mean, yeah, I'm buying that jersey tomorrow.
That's a loaded question right there.
Right. But listen, you're saying.
Hey, the funny thing is, that's where Aaron Rodgers wanted to go, and he was very disappointed that the Niners went with Alex Smith over him. You know, he's a hometown boy.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah.
Exactly. But TT asked that question. I think Eric was waiting for the rest of the question. Like, would you want him to go there and you have to sell your soul to the devil or something like that?
Right, but he's saying
I ain't going that far, but you know.
He said it's not that much more in the tank. So if he don't got that much more in the tank, are you wasting time on Garoppolo, then wasting the time on Rodgers? Do you think Rodgers can get over the hump? These are the questions.
No, I didn't say that he has not left in his tank. We all saw what he can do. I'm saying in his tank there in Green Bay. You know what I mean? This was very deflating for him. Like he's losing confidence in his team. As you could see with his interview after the game. You know what I mean? So by all means, Aaron Rodgers isn't done being a quality quarterback. He's deflated there in Green Bay. You know, when you go back-to-back NFC Championship games and lose, especially this year, where you're a heavy favorite to win it all, and you lose he was a heavy favorite to defeat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, I think his time in Green Bay is coming to an end. So not his career.
He has a crazy stat. I want you guys to listen to this one. He is 0-42 when facing a deficit in the fourth quarter. I didn't know that Rodgers had this hanging over him. It's like really. So I seen that stat and I'm like, this is incredible. So knowing that he does have one of the best football IQs, it's like, does he get down or does the team's morale get down? Like, how can they keep him in the game or keep the other players within the game? And knowing that Greg Jennings was, trying to build a storm around him, like when they, like partially after his retirement. So these are the things that I want to kind of stir up because there's a lot here for me with Aaron Rodgers, and he's not getting off easy. But Dave, your thoughts on this situation with Aaron Rodgers falling short in front of the story?
So for me, you guys, I mean LaFleur. Like, are you fucking serious, dude? You're gonna kick the field goal on fourth down with 2 minutes in the game, and were they down 5? Like, dude, are you nuts? I was literally like, wait. I was talking to my buddy Rich Fattaroli about it, like, for like 5 minutes after, like, and just like, I still just don't understand it. Like, I just don't understand why you don't go for it there. Like, and that kind of coaching decision is so deflating for the MVP who's trying to fight to come back to get into it. I'm sure he was pissed. We know how Rodgers is so passive-aggressive and sarcastic and goofy even, at times. And, talking about his future, and he's very, cryptic about it and everything. And they'd be crazy to let him go. But it seems like one of those situations where maybe they're thinking, oh, let's trade him and get a lot of stuff for him. It might be in their best interest, to be honest with you, to trade him to a team like the Niners, or maybe the Colts, or somebody that can give them a lot, and then they could really rebuild. But I mean, they're in a weird place to me because they also are still a good team. They just ran into a team and actually they just kind of ran into themselves. They played a terrible game at the worst time, and they're not really a terrible game, but not good enough to beat the Bucks. And if you remember, I was the one who told you guys when on Sunday, the villain in Tymeless, when you guys both picked the Packers, I picked the Bucks.
Here we go. Yeah, I got to eat that crow.
Okay, so Barry, I'll let you chase your thoughts on this situation, and if you want to, throw Rodgers on the grill or LaFleur, I don't know, who do you pose more to blame toward? Like we all alluded to, that fourth down call. Is that more of something that we look at LaFleur or look at Rodgers' play throughout the game for it to come to that? Because a lot of people try to hide it. Well, it's just not on that one play. We could have played better throughout the game. Like who are we looking at more at the totality of that game?
Well, I mean, I want to answer your first question first. Is it will Rodgers get more chances to at the crown at this point? I'm going to tell you no, and I'm going to tell you why. And it has nothing to do with Rodgers. It has nothing to do with his talent. He's one of the best quarterbacks in this league. But do you know how hard it is to get another chip? Do you know how hard it is to get to the NFC Championship game 2 years in a row and lose? Look at, in our lifetime, DH brought up a team. He brought up the Chiefs, the only team to host 3 straight championship games, okay? The only other team to do it was the Philadelphia Eagles, right? They hosted 3 straight games. The first 2 games, they were the better team, and they lost. The last game that they actually eventually won, were they the better team? Yes, but were they better than the previous 2 teams? No. And they got blitzed. They lost. It's hard in this league to get that close. Ask the Saints. The Saints, they had chances among chances and had, the play against the Vikings. They had, Stephon Diggs. And they had the phantom call against the Rams. It is hard in this league to get to that point. A long 16-game grueling season, and then winning a couple games in the playoffs to get to the championship game, and then the Super Bowl. Look at the Bills in the '90s that we grew up with 4 straight and never got back. We barely even got back to the playoffs. I think they won back to the playoffs 1 year after that. It's hard in this league, and I think the Packers have blown the chance with Rodgers as their quarterback to get to that point. They might squeak out a mini run, but I even said it in my blog that I posted on SportsCityChef.com. Rodgers has one more, basically next year he's going to get to the divisional and lose because it's just hard. It's hard. So should he want to come back? No. Because I feel like that, everybody's betrayed him, everybody's failed him. LaFleur, how do you take the ball out of the MVP's hands on 4th down? I know it was 4th and 8, but you traded giving the ball to the MVP and letting him tie the game. You said, no, I'm going to take the ball out of his hand and make a field goal and try to make a one-score game, and give Tom Brady the ball with 2 minutes left and say, guess what? Oh, you don't need to get a field goal. You don't need to get 40, 50 yards to beat us. You need to get 10 yards to ice the game. That's crap calling. That's a crap call.
Absolutely.
So that is a major boneheaded move. I don't care if the percentages say that you kick the field goal. Even if you kick the field goal, where's the onside kick? I don't care if you got two timeouts left. That is ridiculous. You took the ball out of your best player's hand to give it to Tom Brady to say, get me less yards to beat me. LaFleur will never live this down. I'm sorry. He should have never been the coach in the first place. He was the offensive coordinator of an offense that was the 26th, 27th best offense in the league and got the job and didn't mess with Rodgers' first year. So that was a problem, too. And you finally get it together 2 years in a row. You get to the championship game. The first game, you got blitzed on the run game. The second game, the defense betrayed you. I know one person that's happy right now is Kevin King, because he's not the discussion, because he had a crappy game at corner. But the discussion is Matt LaFleur failing this team. It's basically, I'm a comic book fan. I watch Arrow on CW, and the first couple of seasons, Arrow will be like, you have failed this city. Matt LaFleur, you have failed this city.
Wow.
Wow. That is so for real.
I don't even know how to follow that. That brother was cooking. Do you hear me? He is cooking. And I don't know where to follow that up, because I wanted to touch on on the outside of it, man. But it's I kind of want to leave you there with it, oh man. Okay, so
there's nothing more to say. Don't even come to me with that. There's nothing more to say. Villa said it as eloquently as I would have said it, although he did it a lot more PG than I wanted to do it. Yeah, keep it moving. Well done, sir. Well done.
And I did it with no curse words. And like Rod Dickey used to say, I wrote my own lines.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed because honestly, at the end of the day, this has nothing to do with King. It has nothing to do with Rodgers. You know what I'm saying? This has everything to do with Matt LaFleur. I'm not going to sit here and say that he didn't deserve the job, because clearly this man wins in the regular season. And I mean, he put together some significant, totals and this, that, and the third. But you cannot at that moment of that game, literally, here's the thing, even if you go for it and fail, all right, you go for it and fail, Tom Brady has to work the length of the field to get, even if you go for it and fail at that moment, okay? You save yourself some time. Tom Brady doesn't, get the ball back, in decent field position. I don't know if this coach took a nap, or he decided to be cute, but no, you don't do that there. You don't do that there. And honestly, gentlemen, I'm bringing it to your attention too. I mean, again, Barry said it perfectly fine. Where this went wrong, honestly, for me, was honestly on second down. Because second down, there was a hole there, and Rodgers didn't run. Third down, the lane there, which everybody's talking about, was there, and you didn't run. On two successive plays, Aaron Rodgers didn't use his legs, something that he's been accustomed to doing. Thomas, you mentioned this when you spoke. You know what I'm saying? He's been accustomed to running the football with his legs to at least create passing lanes or to pick up yardage. He did not. He didn't do it at either time. At either time. Now again, LaFleur's going to get some of this heat, and he should. But if you're Aaron freaking Rodgers, okay, you are the MVP of the league. The MVP of the league. You know what you have to do. You're on the 10-yard line trying to go in and knock off Thomas freaking Brady. And you don't run the ball when you have the opportunity to run the ball? You got to help yourself. You have got to help yourself. Say what?
I was just saying, not trying to take away to what the Bucs did. The Bucs, like our old buddy Barry, our old buddy Jason Pierre-Paul is out there balling. The Bucs defense gave them such a good shot, and then And then Tom Brady threw it right back to really with the interception.
Right. He was giving him the game right back. Like Brady was literally giving him the game back.
Thomas. That had nothing to do with the sequence at hand. I give you that. Tom Brady gave the ball back to him. The Buccaneers defense, Jason Pierre-Paul, and those boys, they made enough plays. That has nothing to do with the last sequence of plays that we're discussing. The last 4 plays that we're discussing were in the hands of Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers. Period.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm
all right,
backing you up.
Well, here let's give up the fact too that with Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams, 2 bruising backs who have dominated in the regular season, and you only give those guys 13 carries apiece, just like back to the last game. You got to have a running game.
One got hurt.
Aaron Jones got hurt.
Right.
And once again, valid point, Eric. Valid point. But once again, gentlemen, that is irrelevant to the you were down. You're on the 10-yard line or the 13-yard line going in for a game-tying score. Okay? You have the ball. You're Aaron freaking Rodgers or Matt LaFleur. Okay? You have 2 rushing lanes on 2 different times. And you don't take advantage of it at either time.
You know what's serious, though? You're right. But I look at it execution-wise as why it failed before that. Because the first down play was a back shoulder pass to Devontae Adams, who was playing out of this world this season, and he missed it. He didn't turn around. Then you had a RPO play that was a slant to what's his face? Lazar. He didn't turn around. He didn't look at the ball.
He didn't turn around.
You can blame Rodgers for those 2 passes. Everybody knows the back shoulder pass isn't on the quarterback. It's on the receiver to pay attention. An RPO play, you got to get help from the receiver. He's got to turn around. If you're running that slant, which he didn't run right away, you got to turn around and look. So there was a lot of that too. But then before, they had running plays. The outside sweep was there every time. Every time they ran an outside sweep run play, it was there for 5-10 yards a pop. They went away from it.
Every time, bro.
They went away from it. So it's like, even though you had to throw the ball to get back in the game because you gave away a touchdown with 1 second to go and making a bad defensive call, not playing 2 deep or at least 3 deep to cover the end zone or cover the sidelines to force him to kick a field goal, you play single man high to give up a touchdown in the end zone. Okay, so you're behind automatically. You had to throw the ball to get back in the game. And who got you back in the game? Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers was balling.
He was. And Tom Brady, guess what? He played 1 half of great football. The second half, he had 3 interceptions, should have had 5. Should have had 5.
Yeah, the only reason that they were really able to get back in the game.
Exactly. Well, there was the 2 reasons they got back in the game, DH, was how bad Tom Brady played and how good Rodgers played.
I can't say that because here's the thing. Tom Brady threw 3 interceptions in the second half. They scored 0 points off those 3 interceptions. 0.
Yeah, you got to capitalize. You have to capitalize. That 3 interceptions in a playoff game, you got to capitalize off that. You can't get they ended up with 0 points. That's you can't win games like that.
Yeah, and they started getting pressure up the middle, up in his face, and Brady was making bad throws. But if you remember, Sirius, where he was throwing the interceptions were basically like a punt. He was throwing it and back into the other half of the field, and they would get the ball at the 10, the 15-yard line, the 20-yard line, and had to drive the length of the field. So it wasn't like a really change of possession, interception where you're deep in their end zone, like when Rodgers threw that bad pick, and then they got the ball at midfield and then got the chance to get that touchdown at the end of the half, or that they got that turnover and Tom Brady turned it into quick points to begin the second half. Those were interceptions on the other side of the field.
But my thing was this, and again, we can keep it moving if you want, but you know what I'm saying? Tom Brady's turnovers equated to 0 points. Aaron Rodgers' turnover, equated to a touchdown. Okay? Mm-hmm. A credit to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, like my man alluded to a second ago. for getting them off the field and this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, we can sit here until the end of the show and into the crossover cafe tomorrow if you want, you know, and fry LaFleur and Rodgers. At the end of the day, the question that Thomas posed, you know, is Aaron Rodgers done in Green Bay? Nah, he ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. But I do honestly believe that they have to have a come-to-Jesus moment and get this brother some legitimate help this offseason.
Who's the help that they're going to get?
Right, that's exactly what I was going to ask. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's going to take more than one piece. It's not going to be one receiver or a running back. They're going to need multiple.
I don't think. Here's the thing. I don't think they need multiple. I really don't think they need multiple. Keep in mind they still got to figure out what they're going to do with Aaron Jones, who's a free agent. If they don't re-sign Aaron Jones, they just drafted Dillon last year. They got Jamal Williams there, and they got Williams there. I think they need to go get a wide receiver too. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's a ton of them in free agency this year. Go get a second wide receiver too. You know what I'm saying? You got Tony at tight end. You got Aaron Rodgers. You got Devontae Adams. Give this man some legitimate help. Legitimate help.
I agree.
And the thing is,
that.
you still got Lazard there, who's a nice number 3. He's not a number 2, but he's forced to play number 2. You got, you know, the law office, Valdez Scantling still there, who can come up. You know what I'm saying? All they need is a legitimate number 2 receiver to go alongside Devontae Adams and figure out what they're going to do in their backfield. And LaFleur, learn from this. And I say, again, learn from this. Build on your defense. You got Jair Alexander, who's arguably the best shutdown corner in today's game in 2020. You got that dude back there. Go out there and get yourself some defensive help. You got a draft coming up full of defensive talent. Go find you a diamond in the rough. And, again, I don't see anybody in the NFC, you know, contending with, you know, Green Bay next year. You got Aaron Rodgers, who's going to be, once again, a year or more pissed off because of what took place. Let's roll the ball out there and see what happens.
He's pissed off every year.
But he help. They just like that messing up in the playoffs.
That anger's not leaving him. He's angry every year. It's like that. One more receiver ain't gonna do it. Like I said, they need multiple. You even attest.
Yeah, well, they're
loaded.
loaded.
On the defensive side of the listen. On
They're
the defensive
loaded.
side of the ball,
they got the offensive weapons. I mean, Scantling, he's emerged as a viable top 2. Scantling is emerged this year.
He has too many drops for me. He has too many drops for me, Eric. He sometimes doesn't run the play like properly. So, you know, he does sometimes, but then he runs those plays that, you know, you're not supposed to run it. Aaron Rodgers gives you that look, and it's like you ain't getting the ball for the rest of the game. So, you know, I don't know if he trusts him enough, but I'm looking at the tracker. I mean, there's some solid receivers out there, but after you look at like Allen Robinson, T.Y. Hilton, I mean, maybe Marvin Jones. I mean, you're talking about Corey Davis, Willie Snead, Cordell Patterson, John Ross, like Kendrick Bourne. You're not talking like a game breaker. Maybe a number 2 that can go with him. I would probably look at.
But just like Sirius said, the problem isn't adding another wide receiver. They need defense. They need defense.
No,
they have enough offensive weapons. They had a team offensively that should have. They should be in the Super Bowl right now. So they just didn't play up to par.
There's a cornerback in Arizona that's going to be a free agent that they should be taking a look at. Patterson.
You're high on Patrick. I'm not big on him because he gets cooked a lot. He gets cooked a lot. And don't forget, he is even though it was Marshawn, but he is the one that was a part of that epic run where Marshawn threw him out of bounds in Arizona, and he just wanted to run behind Marshawn and watch him score the touchdown instead of tackling him. So Patrick Peterson, I feel totally different in that retrospect. But this is the way I look at it with Green Bay right now, knowing that he is getting longer in the tooth. This year coming up, he'll be 38. I don't even know how he forgives LaFleur right now. Like, this is the same situation that Rodgers was looking at when Mike McCarthy was there and watching this happen. And I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to let Rodgers go out there for the 4th down play. And if we lose, I'll look at the crowd and shrug like, hey, we came up short on the pass play. I'm not kicking a field goal and hoping that this questionable defense that you guys seen for the past 10 years, this Packers defense has not been good since 2011 when they went to the Super Bowl up against Pittsburgh. That's the last time you've seen a strong, stout defense with Charles Woodson and Clay Matthews. You've not seen this defense strong at all. So it's like you got to be able to watch this guy that you dumped everything into, and you already started the season off on a bad note going to get Jordan Love first round, and he's like, wait, this guy is going to get my job. He puts up a hell of a season in an MVP caliber or winning season, and then you say, no, we're going to try and win this, another way. Like, I don't get it. I don't know where LaFleur was thinking. And this is what bothers me, Sports City, because I'm kind of make this personal. It's like, why do coaches always have that speech ready? Like, oh, if I were to do it again, I'd do it again. And that's the same thing that Pete Carroll did in the Super Bowl against the Patriots when Russ threw the pass play. And then you see Marshawn like, listen, we came in the huddle. They sent somebody in the call to play, and then they called that quick slant, and then everybody in the huddle looked at Marshawn like you were winning the game for us. What happened? And Marshawn just shook his head and ran the play, and then you see the interception happen and how he started laughing. And it's like, this is the same way that you look at Aaron Rodgers. It's like we're living the same situation. Like, what does Aaron Rodgers do if the play is called differently? So I don't know if he's as forgiving as we think this may be, or if he's to me, I think he's pissed off. But
yeah,
LaFleur's is way worse.
You saw in his
LaFleur's
interview, he said his future's uncertain. It's not a guarantee. It's not easy. Like we've all said, this is hard to get, let alone to win more than one Super Bowl. But to make it back to the NFC Championship again for a third year, I mean, the odds of that are astronomical. You know what I mean? So I think they had their time. It's came and gone 2 years in a row. It's not going to be a cakewalk for them to get back there next year. You got too many tough teams in the NFC. You're going to have San Francisco back next year. They were completely decimated by injury on both sides of the ball. So it wasn't even the 49er team that made it to the NFC Championship game. They're going to get all those guys back next year, and they're going to be, a front runner. So you got the Seahawks. You got the Saints, you got the Rams. So I mean, you got these teams that are getting better. It's not going to be a guarantee for the Packers to make it back there next year.
And one thing that that TP mentioned, I definitely want to echo that, TP, and then I'll get off of it. But it's basically like, LaFleur comes out and says, we had in our mind that we were going to run 3 plays on that goal line and then kick the field goal. So he said automatically he knew he was going to kick the field goal. That was news to Aaron Rodgers. He thought he had 4 downs to get it in the end zone. That's why he was probably not trying to run the ball or throw it away, whatever, because he knew he had 4 cracks to get it in the end zone. Why isn't that being communicated between the two guys, between the head coach and the quarterback running the plays? That's what I'm talking about. It's just a lack of like. It's just bush league. It's like something I would do when I was coaching middle school football. It's ridiculous. So I mean, and Eric's right, man. It's hard to get back, and the Rams had their crack at the egg. They might have to blow it up before they get back. The Seahawks had their 2 Super Bowl runs. They had to blow it up and then kind of restart to get back into the playoffs and back in the position. Rodgers ain't got that luxury. He's like, 36? Like, you don't got a lot of time to get this guy. Yeah, you don't have a lot of time. So, he's a great quarterback. I don't see it happening. I don't see them getting back.
And with all that being said, right, we're talking about the coaching. Everything that happened in the game, they fired their special teams coordinator. Like they fired the wrong person. The special teams didn't let you guys down.
He was the weakest link.
They like, you know what? We lost. Get out of here. And it's like, wait, they ain't run no kickback. They didn't run no punt back. Like, what's going on? I'm losing my job. Like, what? Yeah. Okay. So
they're on glue.
That's that good old. That's Elmer's. Look, and shout out, I didn't do this last week, so I'm going to do it now. Rest in peace, shout out to Ted Thompson. I do want to give you your due. I did not mention that last week. He died last week. I'm going to give him his due as well. Now, on the other side of the coin, I am willing to bring all of the smoke. I want every last bit of smoke, whoever wants it, to challenge me if they really think that Brady is not the GOAT. like if Brady is not the GOAT, I got all the smoke. I at least got a good solid 15 minutes. If somebody wants to debate that they still think that there is a quarterback better than Thomas Brady. There's nothing else anybody can say. He has been to the Super Bowl double-digit times, 10, to potentially win his 7th championship. Now, I get it. Like, you got a lot of these media members and things of that nature and analysts. I don't even think it's really analysts, but people that are trying to throw him in the best athlete ever conversation. Now, I get it. He may have accomplished the most in NFL history that we have seen, but best athlete? That's a crazy question. But if there is anybody that feels like there's any, I want to name names. I'm willing to help you. Montana, Unitas, Elway, Bradshaw, Aikman. I want the whole field. You can throw the whole field at me. If you think that there is somebody out there in your cotton picking mind that is better than Tom Brady, I'm ready. Like I'm sitting there so focused. Like I'm opening the grill up if somebody feels the type of way. Like if you want to, we can do it. There's nothing else I can argue about anymore. There's been people year after year that
he's definitely not the best athlete. By far not the greatest athlete ever.
I'm not saying
greatest football player ever, yes. And the man is, not probably, Ty, the man is going to get his 7th, unprecedented 7th Super Bowl ring this year, folks. Guaranteed.
Awesome. I love that.
Guaranteed. You heard it here right now tonight. Tom Brady will be hoisting that trophy.
Yeah, okay.
Hold on. Okay.
No,
all right, so I'm going to sit here. I was trying to sit here and be cool tonight, so I apologize, Pastor Mitchell, if you're listening, Mom and Dad, my fellow members of CCC and my dad's church. But what in the holy hell are you smoking? What? Okay, all right. Y'all gonna make me do this tonight. Okay, so Tymeless is just trying to gaslight some stuff, and I'm letting him do that on his own. Because if you want to keep it really, really real, homie, Tom Brady has gotten to 10 Super Bowls, but he was not the best player on the field in those Super Bowls, and he was, as my man Royce would say, he was in the passenger seat a lot of times for those championships. But I'm going to leave that alone for right now. This brother just said that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to win the Super Bowl. With that
absolutely. Guaranteed.
Okay, so wait.
Guaranteed, serious. You'll see on the 7th. We can debate it and talk about it, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to win.
Hold on. I got you. Wow. We've been here before. Wow. And Sirius is rowdy today. I like how Sirius tried to bring that little temperature and that little energy with him. But I seen him here before years ago. I had him right here in his kitchen and had to make him eat cricket soup, humble pie for dessert. Everything had to happen to him when he started acting like that. So the two of you are here right now. So bold prediction, one going Tampa Bay, one going Kansas City. Do we get this right here, right now? Who bold?
Oh, yeah.
Right now.
We're not doing predictions this week. Come on, give me a break. We got plenty of time for predictions.
Wait, hold on, Barry.
No, right here, right now. There's no need to wait. It's not, in my opinion, isn't going to change.
It's a cookout.
This is a guaranteed.
Right. This is the cookout.
I mean, listen,
if you can't take the heat, you know what you can do.
I'll give my 2 cents, TP, right now. It's the way too early prediction. Tom Brady will get his 4th Super Bowl loss.
Absolutely not.
Come on, Eric, give me a break. The villain is.
No, I'm telling you right now, I'm being dead serious. You're going to see February 7th.
Nobody goes up to the pastor's pulpit and takes the microphone from him when he's preaching the gospel. Let the villain preach, and then you can go chime in after in the prayer meeting, in the prayer service.
All right, just don't tell me it's too early.
Preach and let you know the way too early prediction is Tom Brady is going down to Mahomes, okay? And listen, Tom Brady, okay. TP knows, DH knows, I scream Joe Montana is the greatest quarterback ever, okay? I've been screaming that. 4 Super Bowls, no losses, 13 touchdowns, no interceptions in the Super Bowl. You know, when he went to Kansas City, took them to the championship game. Tom Brady is the GOAT quarterback, okay?
Thank you.
I I have hung up my Montana jersey in the closet and took out Brady and put him in the number 1 slot. I can't deny it anymore. I have nothing to stand on. I have no argument to stand on. Is Tom Brady the greatest football player ever? You out of your mind, okay? He is not the greatest football player. He's not even the best athlete, okay? For me, the best football player played 56 in New York, okay? That's the best football player I ever saw in my life, okay? He was a god. Lawrence Taylor was a god. But let's be real about it. Tom Brady may not have been as talented as Peyton Manning, may not be the overall physical and just specimen that Rodgers is. Rodgers is a better player than Tom Brady. But Tom Brady gets it done when he has to get it done. He has 6 rings. He's taking his second team at 43 to his 10th Super Bowl. He may not be a better passer than Dan Marino. He may not be a better athlete than Rodgers or Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or anybody you want to put up there, Cunningham. But you know what? He's the GOAT quarterback. Period. The end.
Yeah, I'm
sorry. I can't with y'all. I can't with that. I really can't.
What do you mean you can't? You can't agree? You can't add to that?
No. I can't agree with that for a couple of reasons. Listen, hold up. If we're gonna sit here and measure a man's success on the GOATness on his appearance in a Super Bowl, then we can take that same energy and apply it to LeBron James in basketball. But since we're not doing that,
Bill Russell would be the greatest basketball player in history if that was the rule. Everybody knows that.
Right. But since we're not doing that, I have to look at the numbers and the statistics of said games performed. Okay? At the end of the day, Tom Brady's going to play in his 10th Super Bowl, whatever the case may be. He has played like crap in almost half of them. He was a passenger, you know what I'm saying, in the car for majority of them. You know what I'm saying? This is the type of dude that shows up for a class project and gets an A, but doesn't do nothing to work half the time in Super Bowl. Okay?
But serious.
I'm going to throw this out there, gentlemen. Dan Marino, check this out. Does Dan Marino, because in my eyes, he's one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. If you put Dan Marino on the team that Tom Brady has, how many Super Bowls does Dan Marino get? With Belichick as coach.
Who knows? But Brady was there. Brady led those teams. Brady has MVPs. Brady has career stats. I don't care if he was a passenger in 5 games. So what? This guy's played over 20 years. This guy wasn't supposed to be a quarterback in this league. Get the facts straight. Serious? He was a 6-round pick.
That is irrelevant to me at the topic at hand. If you want to do an ESPN 30 for 30,
if you're going to take him out because of 5 games, then this argument is over. Then we can move on. So we can move on to the fact that the Houston Texans failed to hire the right coach again, because that's a crap argument.
We can have that conversation again, but to sit there and say, you know what I'm saying, because he played like crap in 5 games, or whatever it may be, that this conversation is over, is relevant, because that is the whole point of Thomas's discussion. That's the whole point of it. Because he's been in the Super Bowl 15 times, all of a sudden he's the GOAT, he's the best quarterback to ever put on one.
If I read this resume, it doesn't make sense. If I read this resume, you're out of your mind. You're just arguing because you got gum. At the end of the day, if I read this resume that Tom Brady got, you will pop out of your freaking mouth. You serious like that. Listen, dog, you are bugging with if I read the resume of Tom Brady compared to any quarterback that you pick up, you can pick your quarterback. You put a quarterback in front of Tom Brady, and we go shot for shot. Whatever you want to do, you pick a quarterback. Since you fit really bad, but let's see.
Google is free. Google is free. Use it. Okay?
I'm waiting for you to tell me.
You can talk about Tom Brady's accolades and
I'm waiting for you.
Hold on a second. Sir, I'm talking. Kamala Harris style. If you were to sit there and talk about Tom Brady's accolades and do the second and third, that is great. I will give you that. But to sit there and try to say because he's played in the Super Bowl 10 times that he's the greatest, you're outside your mind. Your argument is wrong.
Serious.
You tell me your measuring stick.
You sat there and justified your whole damn statement by starting it off by saying because he played in the Super Bowl 10 times, he's the GOAT. He's the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. You have lost your damn mind and smoked yourself retarded if you honestly think that.
You sound crazy, man. Yo, you think I hung it up with them winning?
Like
Wait, hold on, Barry.
Hold
on, Barry. Like I said, he's yelling because he got a megaphone. At the end of the day, if you really think just because he got to his 10th Super Bowl, that's all I got in the bag for him, like, I can go into that resume and go crazy. You ain't even give me a quarterback yet. Wait, hold on. I'm talking. One ball.
Serious. Who's your good quarterback?
One ball. Hold on. One ball. You're just yelling. You ain't give me nobody to go against. You gave me nobody to rival.
Exactly.
You sitting up there bumping your gums because you got them in your mouth. Give me a quarterback and stop just bumping your gums just because you're doing it. You ain't give me nobody.
Who's the good quarterback?
Put Big in there. Listen.
What? Montana is the greatest quarterback to ever play the game.
Hey. Let me just chime in here. Here, check this out. This is Tom Brady's resume. The guy has 79,000 total yards, 581 touchdowns compared to 191 interceptions. That is phenomenal. That right there is GOAT.
And he's over here getting crazy because he wants to just come at me. He's not even using his thick-ass skull because he's not putting it together. That's ridiculous. Yo, if you really think 10 Super Bowl appearances is the only thing, if you think that I'm saying just 10 Super Bowl appearances is the only thing, hold on. One ball I'm talking. Look, if you really think that that's the end of it, I've been saying this for years, serious. I've been saying this for years, and you still trying to hang on tight like that bracelet on that big girl ankle talking about Joe Montana? You must be out of your mind.
That's a big girl ankle.
You put Montana
like
back. Listen, check this out. Listen, wait.
TB, hold on 1 second. TB, hold on, TB, pause. TB, you're killing me right now.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
You're saying he was along for the ride on 5 games, right? That's your argument? That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you watch the 2002 Super Bowl against the Rams? I'm just curious.
I watched them all.
Okay. Do you remember who that team he beat? Greatest show on turf. They're about to be 2-time champions. They were the greatest offense we had ever seen. No, don't cut me up. They were the greatest offense we had seen up until that point. They were down in that game, 17-14.
He was a rookie.
They were down in that game. Who brought them back? Who won the game? Who won the game?
17-0. Your point being what?
You're gonna tell me the running back Redmond was the reason they won that game, or Tom Brady who led them down the field in his first season?
I'm pointing the finger at Bill Belichick and that defense.
Oh, did the defense lead them that? No. Hold on, TB. Hold on, tag me in. Road Warrior Animal, just tag me in. Road Warrior Hawk got this one. Tag me in.
At 43 years old, Jay, Tom Brady this year, at 43 years old with a new team, he puts up 4,600 passing yards with 40 touchdowns and 12 interceptions with a 65% completion rating and a 102 quarterback rating. I mean, what more are we looking for, gentlemen?
Like your argument is so it's tough because it's not like Tom Brady went to 10 Super Bowls and lost 6 and won only 4 like LeBron. That argument holds up against. But serious, that argument holds up against LeBron versus Jordan. Jordan has 6 rings, no losses. LeBron has, all the losses and what have you. Brady has a winning record in the Super Bowl. He will finish his career with a winning record in the Super Bowl. There's no player that's gone to as many Super Bowls as he has. I mean, even if you take the stat ball out, you can't. Listen, serious. I'm a big Montana fan. I love Joe Montana. He was probably one of my favorite players growing up. I argued for days on this show saying Montana's the GOAT, not Brady. That's when Brady has 4 rings. I can't say that anymore. And I love Joe Montana. I can't say that anymore. I can't. It's not. I can't win that argument. I can't.
If I can stand here by myself on this mountain and preach that, then so be it. But I refuse to sit here and allow this conversation to sit here and go past. If Thomas would have said, he's going to his 6th Super Bowl, should he be in a conversation or something like that, then I would have sat here and been quiet. But saying, try to tell me that he's the GOAT, because no, I'm sorry. Let's see with that. Let's see with that.
He's the GOAT statistically, even if you look at it statistically. Maybe you have his resume as on the playing field, but the wins, there's no debate about it. There's no debate.
You guys are bringing all the stats, and like how about the fact that he only missed the playoffs 1 year, and it was the year he was hurt? That's crazy. I mean, and it's so funny too. One of my favorites, and being a Notre Dame fan, it's tough for me to go against Joe Montana, but Joe Montana had Jerry Rice. Let's be real. Joe Montana had the greatest receiver to ever play the game. So, imagine if Tom Brady had Jerry Rice.
I know. We just sat here and said how hard it is to get to the championship game and get to the. This guy's done it 10 times. Serious. Life is hard. Hug me. Don't reject me. Okay. Talk to me. Come to me. Okay? Listen.
Yes, Barry. Yes, Barry.
Oh, Lord.
Listen, we can't do this no more. Listen, serious. I have more at stake than you because I went to school in New Hampshire and up in New England where they were everywhere. And this is when Brady was young. There were Montana fans, and then when Brady started winning, there were Brady fans everywhere. I know people I went to school with that named their kids Brady. These are girls named Brady. Okay, you can't tell them nothing. I'm arguing with them that no, Montana's the greatest. Partly because I hated them, but I can't do it anymore. I can't. I have to bow down and admit it.
Go ahead and pass the torch to Sirius. I got it from here. I take it from here.
I think we need to move on, gentlemen. This is, undisputed here.
This is what we do. This is the controversy that you have to have.
This is the crazy part. Look, Eric, this is the crazy part. I got y'all holding me down, and he coming for me. That's the crazy part. I didn't even get to read the resume. It was read for me. I don't understand what I need to do. You sitting up there mad at me because I said the 10th Super Bowl appearance. That's gaudy. Look, hold on. That's gaudy. Look. The only person that you could probably put in that discussion was Charles Haley. I think Charles Haley got 5. Then scramble your brain with somebody else that had multiple Super Bowl appearances other than Montana, Bradshaw, Haley. Those are the names that I could think that have high appearances. He's doubled Haley. Charles Haley got a lot. And he's doubled that. And that's 10 is gaudy. He has a record. He has a legitimate standing record. 7-3 or what it would be 6-4. That's a Super Bowl record. Are you kidding? People got 4-0 or 2-1 and 2-2 or 1-0. This dude got 10. 10. Let alone he came from the AFC, and this is what pisses me off. I'm mad about what I'm about to say. He just came from the AFC and came to the NFC and was like, yo, Jameis, you were garbage. I'm going to show you how garbage you were with this offense, and I'm 40-something years old. and I'm going to turn the lights out here. Like, Jameis is over there in New Orleans like, yo, this dude really took this offense from me, and he got them there. Like, come on. Tampa, off the rip. I wish Nas would come in here because Nas was in the kitchen saying Brady wasn't going to get back to the Super Bowl. And it happened. Come on. Like, don't come to me because I got people for you that will cook for me. That's the worst part about it. I've been cooking all the time. Jeez. Okay. Now, alluding to, I think Barry was throwing this one around, and I'm dumbfounded by this. I don't know how bad this gets any longer, people. I really don't. The Houston Texans have signed David Culley, one of the offensive coordinators down with the Baltimore Ravens. Now, it's like, okay, you just watch your team go from crazy move to crazy move to crazy move with a evil genius. I don't even want to call him a genius. I just want to call him evil and Bill O'Brien and messing this up. And going after a guy that, I mean, I want to give his resume some credit because Baltimore has done decent work, but they haven't, gotten out of their own way in the last couple of playoff appearances. And he's supposed to be the guy to turn this around in Houston while there's still so many questions swirling, let alone them not giving the opportunity to some of the bigger names that are out there. And why is everybody that has a coaching vacancy not even trying to wait for Eric Bieniemy to get out of this Super Bowl run? It baffles me that they're doing it to this guy right now. I'm steaming, and I'm personally, I had this conversation with Barry already. I'm looking at the doggone Lions. They haven't ever got Dan Campbell and won't go after a guy like Bieniemy. It's like, what are these teams doing? Not going after a guy that's already proven, but going after guys that want to prove themselves. And Culley's already like an older coach. But I do want to throw this one around, see how you guys feel about it. I'll let you set this one off first, Barry.
I mean, it's like they know, well, you know what, Deshaun ain't coming back, so we might as well just do what we wanted to do in the first place. Like, they're talking about Eric Bieniemy and Frazier from the defensive coordinator from the Bills being the two finalists. These guys were assembling staffs, and now you're talking about David Culley, the offensive coordinator of a team that can't throw the ball, huh?
Mm.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't blame Lamar Jackson because he's throwing to his best receiver he had to throw to was Des Bryant. I'll wait. That's the guy you want to hire. So Houston had obviously Deshaun Watson will not be on the Houston Texans come draft day. That is apparent to me right now. And you know what? He shouldn't want to be there because this is I know this isn't a guy that he wanted to coach. This was a dark horse. I don't think anybody's been talking about this guy maybe a day ago. Maybe serious. I don't know. Maybe you brought it up. I know nobody was talking about David Culley as a possible candidate. We were talking about Bieniemy being a finalist, and that this is the guy that they figured out. This is why the Texans are the Texans, and you know what? I mean, they're just going to be the Texans. That's it.
Okay, Eric, your thoughts on the new hire in Houston? Is there a problem in Houston, or is everything just fine with the new addition of Coach David Culley?
Bro, the Houston Texans, plain and simple, are on glue. They have dabbled into that jar the whole season. I mean, it started when they got rid of DeAndre Hopkins. And then their franchise quarterback, Deshaun Watson, Eric Bieniemy, that's a guy that he endorsed, and they don't even – I mean, they go and sign this guy out of nowhere. So, you know what I mean? That all but guaranteed Deshaun Watson leaving. Just like you touched on, Barry, he will definitely not be there draft day. This team has, just like Sirius said, instead of smoked themselves stupid, they've sniffed themselves stupid.
Oh, my gosh. Wow. This is getting crucial. Okay, Dave, your thoughts on what's going on in Houston? Do you think this is a good hire, or should they have waited for a guy like Bieniemy to become available? They also had Leslie Frazier as one of the guys that were available, but I'm not high on Leslie Frazier because of his run while he was in Minnesota, but it doesn't even look like they even gave that a thought. But your thoughts on the coaches that were available and with the hire from Baltimore.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the fact that Bieniemy has not been hired, because it's to me it's like, well, if everyone keeps saying how they're considering him, and I know they're like, oh well, he doesn't call the plays because Andy Reid calls the plays and stuff, but if this guy is being considered for so long, like it's like, let's just stop saying you're considering them. If if you're considering them, then hire them, for God's sake. Like first of all, second of all, I think the NFL, all these teams, these organizations are looking for the next coming of Sean McVay. Like we've talked about it before. It ain't Matt LaFleur. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these young, not star player guys are coming in, like, and Sean McVay's a great coach, I think, but a lot of these other guys, like who the heck are they? Where do they come from? Why do they deserve to be the head coach of a team? I think people are looking for that diamond in the rough like McVay, and they're finding a lot of rough, and so I don't know. I don't know if people are really just looking in the right places. I think you said it. I think maybe they should look to the guys who have had failures in the past, like Andy Reid, like maybe a Leslie Frazier, and someone with some experience, and bring in someone with experience into the job.
Wait, hold on. I think I got breaking news, Sports City. I'm trying to make sure that this is correct. I think Stafford just went to the Washington football team. I'm trying to make sure that this is correct.
I think that's a rumor, but it might be. There's a lot going on right now, so I'm trying to double check it too.
So I'll let Sirius speak as I look for this. Your thoughts on this situation at hand right now, Sirius? Are you good with the hire, or do you think they should have waited for a guy like Bieniemy or another person?
Honestly, it's a bad hire. But at the end of the day, Bieniemy, he interviewed for the job, but
twice, right?
I think he interviewed twice for the job. I think I know for sure one. But this brings up another question that we have so readily have answered, have discussed here on the kitchen. Is Bieniemy and Leslie Frazier being brought in to fulfill a Rooney Rule commitment, all the while you want to go off script and hire somebody who you're cool with, or who is a member of your golf club, or whatever the case may be? It doesn't make football sense. You know what I'm saying? That Eric Bieniemy wants the job, hired for said job, has a resume that is insane. It is the guy that your star quarterback wants in the building. That's who he wants. He told you that's who he wants. You want to keep star quarterback in the building, and yet you go and hire a guy whose biggest claim to fame is running the read option and cannot seem to work up concepts to get wide receivers open in the secondary. As Mr. Cully, as a former dude in Baltimore, I have so many questions, very little answers. But yeah, wow.
I'm stunned because to me, and I may be being brutal, but Sports City, I really don't care anymore. I think Houston don't care. Like, for them to get rid of, and I don't even know if Bill O'Brien spoke to anybody when they got rid of DeAndre Hopkins. Like, who within that organization was like, yeah, that's cool. Go ahead, get rid of him. It's fine. Let him go. Who? I want to see who he sat down with to just be like, okay, be with me. I'm gonna walk up to somebody and then make this happen. Or I'm gonna just pull the trigger and don't worry about nothing. Like, you did that. Then you piss off a quarterback that you just gave up $160 million to this year. Y'all gave him $160, and he's ready to go. He said, I took it from a 2 to a 10 real quick. And then y'all go after a coach that, just like I think Barry hit on, or Eric, one of them hit on, that Baltimore was having a problem passing the ball. And you have no strength in the running game, so you're looking to pass. They have no running game down there in Houston. So you tell me what the heck of design he's trying to bring there. What running back is going to want to go to Houston if Deshaun is gone? I don't know. I already feel bad. Listen, I don't like you.
And this team was on the verge of being the top dog in the AFC when they got rid of DeAndre Hopkins. They were a serious threat to come out on to even make it to the Super Bowl. I mean, they made it almost to the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs. So, and they had a hell of a game. And and then they just get rid of him. So that was, I mean, why? Yeah, they don't care, Ty. I mean, it's lunacy.
And Eric, look at the fact that they had for years they were getting into the playoffs and losing their first game. They actually won a game. They were starting to turn in the right direction, and you thought that going the opposite direction was the way to go.
Absolutely.
And I gotta say this: what the hell is wrong that Eric Bieniemy can't get a job? He's been the high coordinator for 4 years. If he can't get a job, because you're going to start trying to say Andy Reid is the reason that offense clicks, or Mahomes is the reason that the offense clicks, not Bieniemy. Why is this guy getting all these interviews and can't get a job? Is it him, or is it the owners that don't want to hire him? Somebody's got to say it.
Cook, you're cooking. You cooking today. Cook.
Is it the color?
Yeah, Barry. I mean, the man deserves a job. So you got to wonder what's really going on. Maybe is it that he when he goes in for the interview, that they don't trust his plan that he rolls out? But you got to think that it has to be the owners here, because this guy's more than qualified.
Eric,
do you think it really is a game plan situation?
What was that?
I said, Eric, do you really think it's a game plan situation? Like his perspective toward the future isn't bright?
No, I understand that.
Eric, serious. Before you chime in, I want to say this, serious. It's because they don't think a black man can lead a team of black men. That's
lunacy. Race shouldn't come into play. Look at what Tomlin did with the Steelers. So it doesn't matter what color you are.
Eric,
football, I can't.
Eric, that's one guy. Why isn't this guy? He's a hot coordinator. Why can't he get a job?
Well, because just like you mentioned, and it's sad to say, that may be the case, because there hasn't been that many black coaches, but I guarantee you they're more than qualified, and there's a plethora of coaches out there that could get the job done. But, these owners may be a little racist, man. I hate to say it, but it's starting to show because go for it, Sirius.
His issue with that Tomlin thing, okay? Yes, Tomlin is doing a great job in Pittsburgh, this and the third, but you'll be surprised. Maybe not surprised, because I think the gentlemen here are a little more woke than others. But you'll be surprised how many people want Tomlin out of Pittsburgh simply because of his skin color, regardless of what he's produced on the field. This is a guy who's had the second highest winning percentage in the National Football League behind Bill Belichick since he took the damn job. And yet there are people who want him gone out of Pittsburgh because of his skin color, or because he gets to the playoffs and falls short. Clearly not paying attention to the rest of his resume and what he's been able to do. So the fact that Eric Bieniemy and these other coaches, African American qualified coaches, let me emphasize this word, qualified coaches, non-blackballed Mark Jackson style coaches, are not getting these jobs that they are currently interviewing for, clearly goes back to me signifying that they are checking a Rooney Rule box just to say that they have interviewed and spoke to a minority candidate and not in all seriousness trying to hire these men, which means that we need to really address the real meaning behind the Rooney Rule, because now we're being sent out there like a dog and pony show and not given a legitimate opportunity to win and land these jobs.
True. It's like I understand if someone's getting a job over Eric Bieniemy, who has been an offensive coordinator for 5 years, who's got more experience, who's been a head coach a couple times, couple runs. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that he's not getting hired over people who are like, have zero head coaching experience, who don't even have head coordinator experience. It's like, what the fuck is going on there? There's some kind of
they give it to a guy like Coley instead of him. I mean, a major head scratcher.
I mean, even my guy, Arrogant Dave, like Joe Judge, like our guy Dave, like this guy has no head coaching experience. Now he might turn out to be a good coach, but how do you justify hiring him over Bieniemy?
We're not innocent in this either. Exactly right.
No, exactly. And here's the fact, guys. This is the owner of the Houston Texans that came out and said inmates are running the asylum when they started kneeling down and Trump started putting pressure on them. Let's be real about it. And that little phrase cut deep with Deshaun Watson. That's one of the reasons why he's leaving. So am I surprised that he didn't hire a black man as his coach? No. And I'm going to say it on this show because I'm a black man and I feel offended for him. But you know what? If anything, I'm glad he didn't get the job because you know what? We don't want to work for Massa. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, why can't he get a job? Why? Why wouldn't the Jets take a flyer on a guy that's proven that he can lead a good offense? Why are the Houston Texans not giving this guy a chance to coach their team? Why? The Eagles didn't even interview him. The Eagles, who did they hire? Who Carson Wentz wanted? You went to that baby.
The guy from Indianapolis.
Exactly. But the Eagles probably asked him who he wanted to coach that team there, and he said, I want that guy, and that's who they hired. The Texans went to Deshaun Watson and said, who do you want to hire? I want Eric Bieniemy. I don't think so. I'm going to go with Daley Coley. He sounds like a real good pick. Like, why don't we just go get Al Bundy and get him the coach? He's not doing anything right now. Like, give me a break, dude. Polk High, 4 touchdowns, 1 game.
Wow. Even Polk High School. He went to Polk High School for that one. Polk High.
Good pull.
Oh my goodness. I'm stunned. Like I said before, I don't usually like talking about people's jobs, but Houston, contract yourselves, man. Get out here because you're not aiming to win. You have no progression toward the future. And if you lose the player that I love on your team, I'm not going to lie, I'm a big fan of his. But JJ is talking about walking, trying to go to Pittsburgh to play with his brothers. If y'all lose JJ, Deshaun, and DeAndre in a 2-year time, wrap it up. Just end it. There's nothing else for you guys to play for. Like who are you guys going to beat at the Pittsburgh? Jacksonville? Like, go ahead and beat up on Jacksonville till Trevor gets the win of the NFL. And he's going to start punching y'all in the face. Like who? Tennessee? Go ahead and try to tackle Derrick Henry. Go ahead. I love it, especially with JJ going. What you going to do then? Like, that's bull. That's bull. Like, I don't like this at all. That's so, like, in the words of the villain, this is blasphemous. Like, because he loves to throw that out there. This is blasphemous. Houston, listen, I want to see how you guys look out of the first 8 games of the season next year. I want to see the halfway point if you guys are above 500. If you guys are 4-4, I'll eat my crow. I will. But I don't see you guys already coming out the gate strong with a new start, new regime like this. I don't think so. And your quarterback's ready to go. Everybody's ready to go. Look, just end it. Start passing people around. And Detroit, if you feel like it, go down to Texas and get Deshaun. Go get Deshaun right now since we got rid of Stafford. Well, I can't even find it. Somebody hit me up to tell it on the show, but I can't find that Stafford crap. But if you guys can, let me know. Because I definitely am looking high and low. And I really feel like
as soon as it hits,
hey, gentlemen.
I'll let you know. I'm down here.
I gotta wrap it up. I gotta go. It's been a great show with you guys tonight. We dominated, and look forward to seeing you guys back here tomorrow, right here at the Crossover Cafe. Oh, you guys have a blessed night.
Definitely. Thank you for the closeout, man. Yeah, we ran a little over because it got hot. But just now getting this breaking news on the situation on Cully, it's just ridiculous, man. I'm bothered. It's like the enemy got to beg teams to hire him. Like he's been doing this thing for a while now. I don't know if you guys have something else that y'all like to throw out there. I could talk about the hiring process that's going on in Detroit.
We didn't even get to the MLB. I wanted to kind of get into.
Yeah, I gotta
talk
about that.
Sure, please,
talk about that.
Listen, there you go.
Me and you talked today, and you know, we were like, we wanted to save that fire. I got to bring it up, like the fact that this is one of the few years that nobody got voted into the Hall of Fame. You got guys speculated of steroids that didn't get the vote. I think Bonds and Clemens got about 60% apiece. Curt Schilling, who I think is a Hall of Famer, didn't get in because of his questionable views politically. You know, and I saw it today. You know, like Stephen A. said, he doesn't like him at all, but he can't not deny him the fact that he's a Hall of Fame pitcher. Omar Vizquel, probably a Hall of Fame shortstop, got domestic violence, and he might not get in. So it's kind of been a crazy year. Listen, in my opinion, TP, Dave, if you're still, I think Dave's still there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Listen, I honestly feel Bonds, Clemens, Schilling should get into the Hall of Fame because this morality clause that they invented is just a cover to save face. I think it's crap. I think it's a political stunt. I think if you really cared about the morality of people in the Hall of Fame, you would start taking people out, like the racist Ty Cobb and, you know, Landis fought, the commissioner that fought to keep black people out of Major League Baseball. This guy's in the Hall of Fame. If you really cared about morality, you would take these guys out. You don't care. So let them in, let them get their wing in the Hall of Fame, put on their plaque, suspected of steroids. Put on Schilling's plaque, he's a bigot or whatever you want to say, that he has a questionable political views. You want to put on Ty Cobb's plaque, you want to take his plaque down, put a new plaque up, because, you know, confirmed racist. I don't care what you want to do, but don't pull this morality crap like that's going to save your face. And you know what? Honestly, I think the fact, DH knows this for me, I think the fact that writers have a vote is ridiculous. These guys should have no say into who gets into the Hall of Fame. They're not the gatekeep. Anybody else in the baseball world that watched these guys do steroids and did nothing about it. Everybody had their hand in the pot. These guys were getting rich off of the articles they were writing about all the home runs that were being hit. The players were hitting the home runs, getting money. The owners were getting rich off the TV deals. Everybody had their hands in the pot. Time for these guys to stop paying the price for it.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, Barry, because I saw something today that said that Bud Selig is in the Hall of Fame, even though he didn't do anything until they said until 2003, I guess, to start the mandatory performance-enhancing drug test, and that
was because of Congress. That was because of Congress.
Like, wait, so he's complicit, yet he got in the Hall of Fame, right?
Exactly.
And then it's like what? And then on top of that, Barry Bonds never failed a drug test. So it's like, I understand Barry Bonds is in the Miller Report and stuff, but he never failed a drug test. And it's like, he's still not in. It's like, it's a very tricky thing. But, you know, it's funny because I really agree with so much of what you said and your thoughts, because I'm one of those people that thought that Pete Rose should be in and just kind of be disgraced forever as a manager. But the funny thing about it, though, even though I do agree with so much of that, I want Curt Schilling to never be honored and never be clapped for again because of the shit that he said. And I agree, he is an amazing baseball player, and I watched him play. I remember a quick little story. I actually almost ran into him when I was working at Yankee Stadium. I was running tapes, you know, right after college, and I ran around the corner, and he was pitching that night, and like I came around the corner fast because I run into the locker room to get the tape for the post game interviews, and there he was right around the corner. I almost ran right into him and knocked him over. It was crazy, and he's tall too. He's 6'5". I was like, damn, But yo, that dude, the shit he said about Sandy Hook, I mean, especially being someone from Connecticut, like the shit he said about Sandy Hook, I'm like, fuck you piece of shit. I really hope nobody ever stands and claps for him ever for the rest of his life.
I mean, just the recent stuff. We got the Kurt. You got to chill the Kurt. You know, it's a family show. But the fact that you came out and said the rioters, you supported the insurrectionists in Washington D.C., that you're a scumbag. You're scum. But do I?
I
you
didn't
had a
know.
Hall
I
of
didn't
Fame
know you
career?
said that.
Oh yeah, read it. Read it. Do I believe you had a Hall of Fame career? Absolutely. But you're a scumbag, and that should go on your plaque. Hall of Fame pitcher, led the Arizona Diamondbacks and Boston Red Sox to the World Series. Scumbag. Right below it. Scumbag.
Wow. So he said that recently. And then it's
yeah,
bad.
That
because,
was the day before my birthday, TP. Read it.
Well, I'm gonna have to. Well, if you can't find it, find me the link. Listen, Barry, find me the link or the article. Send it to me. Because I follow him. Like, and it sucks that people still have this in him, and him being a major figure within the MLB. That this is his mindset, and with me following him, I kind of like it's distasteful watching him on the stuff that he does say, because he does follow that finely. But I didn't hear him say or see anything about what he said about the
he
No. You don't have to make it. No, it's fine. I'll read it.
Oh, you don't want me? Okay.
I'll read it.
I'll send it to you.
If it's short, Barry. If it's short, read it.
It's short. It was a tweet. It was a tweet, TP, at 11:52 on that Wednesday in the evening, right? You cowards sat on your hands, did nothing while liberal trash looted, rioted, burned for Air Jordan big screen. Sit back and watch folks start a confrontation for blank explicit, or it was SITCH, that matters like rights, democracy, and the end of government corruption. Hashtag it's happening. That's what he said. He said that the people, the Black Lives Matter, were only rioting because they were stealing Jordans and TV. And these guys were patriots and fighting for rights and democracy. Scumbag. I don't care. Scumbag.
I don't know what to say, especially about a guy of his caliber and a person that could potentially, like I said, could and should make the Hall of Fame. But this is something that I used to learn from, like, people, when we were growing up. You could be beautiful on the outside, but you could be ugly as ever on the inside. And it's like,
amen.
The type of conversation he's having at home or with his friends or buddies or people he won the World Series with in Arizona or in Boston, like, you won't change, man. The stripes on that tiger won't change, man. And to each their own. That's what my father used to always say, to each their own. But with that, it's like you're looking for people to vote you in. I don't know if you will get the hearts of the writers, but how many of the writers are on his side? And then I look at how tainted baseball is as a whole. Like, that the home run ball was carrying people to these seats. And the guys that are the big names within the sport are or was on the stuff, and they are the heroes of ours won't get there. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm a diehard Kirby Puckett fan. Kirby's in there, but Kirby was a chubby. He was a fat boy. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I hope he wasn't suspected of juice. You know what I'm saying? But you look at Poppy, you look at A-Rod, you look at Bonds, you look at Sheffield. These guys should be there. Like I'm just not naming names. These, like, should be there. In a few years back, I want to say about 3 or 4 years ago, I was in, and he was a mainstay where I was at. I met Pete Rose in Vegas. And to hear him and see him talk about not being in the hall and just seeing the genuineness in him and, like, how it is hurting him, like, I felt so bad. I'm like, yo, I live in Connecticut. I'm right by New York. Like, I want to go to Cooperstown and just be like, come on, man. Y'all really going to wait till he dies and then give it to one of his kids or his grandkids and be like, yo, this is what we'll do for you. We're going to give him, the glory now while he can't celebrate it. Like, enough is enough. Enough is enough. Like I'm tired of it, and this is where baseball is tainted. This is the end all be all for the sport. Like, granted, like us, like, because we love sports. You know what I'm saying? Like, we love sports and would love to see a no hitter or a perfect game pitch. But if we had to pick one, A or B, if we would like to see a home run derby type of baseball game or a perfect game be pitched, I think the numbers would be in a home run derby game. And of course, I'm really close to Dave right here. Me and Dave grew up since the '80s, like all my life. And there was one game that me and him went to I will never forget. And it was the Yankees versus Tampa Bay Devil Rays at the time. And the Yankees hit like 15 home runs. It was 22 to like nothing. And just watching that scoreboard go crazy and watching Yankee Stadium go out of their minds. It was like, that was fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't come there to watch Pettit throw a perfect game, even though, like, fans would love to see it, like just to be a part of history. But at the end of the day, somebody's waiting to catch a foul ball. Somebody's waiting to catch a fly home run deep left center. Like this is what people came to the game for. And you're going to hold people out that that have to have the hand-eye coordination and be able to get into the league. It's not just because they got in the league, I'm shooting myself in the ass with juice. Like, stop that. Like, come on. Like, no. Man, baseball has a lot to fix, and I wonder when they start to, like, lighten up on these situations, but they have to stand true to this, I guess, until the end of time. I don't know how they're going to assess the situation moving forward.
Possible. I don't think that's possible, TP, because you can't say they're going to have to stand true to the end of time when their own bylaws are being violated by having, the people that are currently in there still in there while keeping out those who are deserving to be in. Like, first, for starters, I can't stand Kurt Schilling. I personally hated him. You know what I'm saying? As a Yankee fan, I couldn't stand him. You know what I'm saying? And then he turns out by what he's saying, off the dime or whatever the case may be, like neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? But he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame based off his numbers. Barry Bonds, Pete Rose, these guys deserve to be in based off their numbers, and you want to keep them out, based off of speculation and things that are not definitively proven. Like my man said, Barry Bonds has never failed a test, ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's good enough to be in the organization. Like, I think he's a hitting coach or something like that now, but he's not good enough to be in the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? Mac McGuire, Sammy Sosa. And here's the thing. Here's something that I don't even think you guys even hit on. There's a certain time limit that player is allowed to be on a Hall of Fame ballot before they get knocked off the ballot.
Yeah, great point.
10 years.
So,
this is 10 years.
Next year is their last year of eligibility.
Last year's eligibility. So if they don't get in next year, they're never going to get in.
No. That's not true. That's not true. What happens is after 10 years, they go to a committee. The committee will vote them in. Either vote them in or say no. And then basically what happens is they can go into a different committee after a years, and then it's like what is it called? It's
like
basically
arbitration or some shit like that.
Yeah, something like that. But
okay,
they have 1 year eligibility to get in. They go to a committee, they say yay or nay, and then they might be able to get in on a future ballot. But honestly, we're talking about, if you can't get in on the first 10 years just on your merits, just take out the steroids and all that. If your numbers say you can't get in, you're not getting the votes, then you're probably not a Hall of Fame. But these guys are Hall of Fame.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a Hall of Fame of good because, like I said, there's a lot of people that need to come out if that's the case. You're put this morality clause in, and it's for guys that are trying to get in. What about a morality clause for the guys that are already in? You know what I'm saying? You can't have it both ways. I'm sorry. Either you let them all in or you take them all out. You can't do it both ways. I'm sorry, you can't.
Baseball, you got some avid sport cooks, and I'm a sport heroin addict. I shoot this stuff up, man, and it's and I can't talk about Griff because Griff, I know. Well, I hope Griff wasn't on no juice, but the guys that I'm used to seeing and did their thing. But in that whole era of at least the late '80s going into the '90s, majority of them was on it. And it's you're going to hold these guys out for that. And tobacco's a drug. You have people chewing tobacco. So get over that. Get over it. And I'm not saying that tobacco helps them cheat or whatever, but come on. These people have gave their all toward the sport, and looking at Pete Rose, man, every time he talks, it looks like he probably just flush out and start crying, man. And it's this is how bad they damaged a legend. A legend, just because he bets. I go to Vegas. I bet. I seen him in Vegas. He, you know what I'm saying? That is people's lives. At the end of the day, I get it. you're scrutinizing him for gambling. I get it. Like I totally get it. But for what he was able to do on the field, 4,000 plus hits, like come on. Don't wait till that guy dies. Let him enjoy that. That's probably what's carrying him along so he could see the day to go to Cooperstown, and he'll probably, go on that. You know what I'm saying? And not wishing for that, and I'm knocking on wood, but come on. Like, come on. All right. So well, we are at the tail end of the show because this is the 2-hour extension, so we have 5 minutes left. I need plugs and closeouts from each of you, as I got these guys fuming. I could feel the heat. The tension is there, and by me learning something, you learn something about every day. Learning that Schilling is his heart is black, like dark black. Like I'm about to start calling him Ursula or Cruella de Vil or something. Like he got to get one of them names. I don't know, but.
No,
let me
you know what? Every time we talk about his name, you just need to hit that MOP song. It's cold as ice, willing to sacrifice. That's what you need to do. Like, they hit those drums.
All right, man. Well, good stuff, y'all, man. I mean, I'm trying. Shoot, I got yelled at for telling people Tom Brady the great. Like, this what I'm going through. Then we started fighting together. He got right. But hold on, I'll let you speak. You can do what you want to do. Y'all all got quiet, so let me talk. Then he got side by side with Tymeless my brother now, because they all coming after us and calling on this and that. We fighting for Jordans and TVs and stuff. Like, make up your mind. I don't know. I don't know what to do with this dude no more. I'm tired of it.
Oh boy. Oh Lord.
I've been doing it.
What do you say? Life is hard, husband.
No, you already got it. And I'm glad Barry cooked that one up. That was just beautiful. That was just so beautiful.
That was good. I like that. That was decent.
Yes.
That was decent.
Yes. Barry, I've been telling him that line for years, dog. For years. You've been here hearing me, and then you hit him with the hee-hee. Yes, I love it. Yo, this is beautiful. Okay. I need plugs and close out from each of you. I'm smiling greatly right now. Dave, I'm glad you came in and started throwing your stuff around. If you want to give me a Brady closeout, you can. You can do whatever you want. No sleep till Brooklyn.
We were talking about some negative stuff in baseball, and I don't really have anything else to say, but just that it's sad to see a real baseball hero pass away recently, hammering Hank Aaron, and we could. It's a sad thing, but a happy thing to think of such a hero and such an amazing guy that we're able to, at least not meet in person and live, but at least able to experience on this earth.
Wow. Look at this dude. This is I can't stand him. He gets on my nerves. I don't like him.
Dave is a hero. Outside of the potty mouth,
somebody else does it. I love him to death. Welcome to the family. Somebody else can rap him like I do. I love it.
No. Don't try all of this. And they trying to team up on me, Sports City. It's 3 Yankee fans against me. I need help. I can't do this by my dog.
Hey, you signed a shortstop to him 1-year deal. You're not happy about that?
He's not.
No, because
he should be.
Because I'm a big Polanco fan. I like Polanco. Polanco can hit. I don't want to see Polanco go.
Not when he can.
Well, true. And he made a bad blunder in the playoffs too. So don't get me started. Look, I'm trying to close the show. You could cook when you want.
I'm trying to spike the punch. I'm trying to spike the punch.
Sports City, I'm trying my best. Look, I'm trying my best.
All right, close the show.
I'm trying. Get out the way. Serious, give me a plug, close out, shout out, anything that you like to promote as we close the lid here at the Cookout.
Man, it's your boy Sirius repping out 412 and the 703, man. It's such a pleasure to be here with you guys on another edition of Sports to the Staff, man. I wanted to bring something to you guys' attention that nobody mentioned that I'm aware of, but shout out to Miss Jennifer King. For those of you guys who don't know who Miss King is, she is the first African-American coach to be on the coaching staff of the Washington football team. She has been working with Ron Rivera as an intern, and she finally became a paid full-time assistant head coach, coaching running backs down here in the Metro for Washington football team. So it's kind of cool, man, to see the evolution of what's going on here in Washington. You got yourself a minority coach. You got yourself a GM who is of African American descent. You got Ron Rivera, who is Hispanic. You got a female in the building. They definitely did a 180 from where they were a season ago from their off the field exploits. So salute to her. I'm very proud of her and her family and her accomplishments, and this goes to show that, ladies, I mean, if you got a dream, chase it. Minorities, all of us, if you got a dream, go after it, even though you may get Eric Bieniemy and blackball or whatever, keep going, because at the end of the day, your good character and your good nature will show, and that phone will ring, and you'll be able to step into your destiny and step into your dream. Shout out to Miss Jennifer King. I salute you, young lady. I salute you.
All right. Well, this is excellent stuff. I don't know if I want to give Barry a closeout, man, because he up here trying to cook late, and now I got to close the show late. Barry, you already know what to do, man. Close this thing up after the show. I might listen to the show again because I feel like this was one of the best shows we had.
I definitely got to listen to it tomorrow in between my meetings. But serious, I love you, brother. Dave, thanks for calling in. Always the best. Eric, thanks for calling in. Listen, Sports City, we're doing big things. We got the theme song. Big special shout out to Caviar and Taja on that track for us. We're doing big things and making moves. Check out the website, sportscitychefs.com, for the blog content. We're trying to blog as daily as we can. Hopefully we have something new up there pretty soon. Check us out on our streaming apps, Apple TV, Google, Spotify, Amazon. We're all over the place. Come find us. We're cooking, we're chefing. We got big things in store. We got nothing but, I got open road and blue skies ahead of us. We're doing big things. And we'll see you next week.
Look, Sports City is rubbing off. I'm telling you, this is where good always wins. He said open road and blue skies. You think evil people say that? Do you think evil people say that? I just want y'all to understand that love wins.
Daniel said it. Daniel said it. A grateful universe.
Listen, I ain't cut you off. I'll let you do your closeout. Well, I can't do my. Why every time I close out, somebody got to say something? Like, I give y'all time. I'll let y'all do what y'all want to do.
because you've been taking shots on your closeout. Don't nobody take shots at you when we close out. You been trying to take shots at Pat on your closeout. So we got to defend that stuff. We got to tell you how we feel as you try to take shots at us.
Pineapples, okay? Both of you, okay? That's the key word to keep these dudes quiet, okay? Now, like I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by a dude out of Virginia and another dude out of here in Connecticut getting all crazy. We got the new intro song and outro, man. This is a shout out to all of the Stanford rappers that we got going at it, Stanford producers, even though they through Connecticut, but that's what I know them from STA for real. I'm stunned that this evil is still going on in the world, whether it's in the Hall of Fame, whether it's in, management, whether it's in politics. We got to continue to fight this storm together. I could care less on how different we may look. You could be from Poland, you could be from Italy, you could be from New Zealand. We are all human beings at the end of the day. I'm not trying to hear it, man. It's always something that we got to get through at the end of the day, and it's tiring. And I hope that people can grow together. We've grown up together to this point in life, and we gotten here. We gotten here, and I'm proud of it. I'm proud of y'all, and I'm thankful for every last one of y'all that came in, because y'all my brothers, even though y'all do get on my nerves, and y'all make my backside itch. On that note, tell a friend that it's the chefs again. If they don't know, Sirius gets on my nerves. Now you know.
Yeah. Sit back, listen, enjoy the vibe. Sip something, light it up, enjoy the ride. Cause the Sports City Chefs is on tonight. In the kitchen cooking up, they on the rise. Sports City, chefs, Sports City, chefs, Sports City, chefs, Sports City, chefs. Yes, Lord, we got a brand new president. Joe Biden, we riding, I pray you heaven sent. Word from the wise, my people stay ahead of. Come on, I've been relevant, trying to survive the elements. It ain't no love in these streets, these dudes telling it. Case go from cold to hot, state's evidence. Kaboom, Sports City chefs is in the room, cooking up hot topics to put up on your spoon. They well in tune, blown like a flower in June. Superman verse MF Doom, the clouds loom. So tell a friend it's the Sports City chefs again. Pay attention, tune in, we on the set again. Sports City chefs, Sports City chefs, yeah. Cabby, Taj. Woo! Connecticut.